This content is AI generated for informational purposes only and should not be directly used for clinical decision-making.
Hello, and welcome back to the Neurosurgery Hub podcast. I'm Dr. Aris, a senior attending here, and I'm joined as always by our research fellow.
And I'm Dr. Ela. Today we're looking at a fascinating new study from the 2026 issue of Neuromodulation, Journal of the International Neuromodulation Society. The paper is titled Development of an Educational Curriculum for the Surgical Implantation of DBS Systems.
This is a timely piece, Alara. Deep brain stimulation, or DBS, has expanded so much in the last decade. We aren't just looking at Parkinson's anymore. We are regularly implanting systems for movement disorders, epilepsy, and increasingly for psychiatric conditions.
Exactly. And as the indications grow, so does the responsibility of the surgeon. One of the primary points the paper makes right at the outset is that neurologic surgery remains the only discipline credentialed to implant these DBS devices. However, the authors point out a significant issue in our field. There is a notable practice variation in how these procedures are performed.
And that variation often stems from what the paper describes as heterogeneous training. Depending on where you did your residency or fellowship, your exposure to lead placement, IPG, implantable pulse generator tunneling, or intraoperative mapping might be vastly different from the surgeon in the next state over.
That's where this study comes in. The North American Neuromodulation Society, or NANS, Education Committee recognized this gap. They've developed a granular recommendation for how a surgeon should actually progress in this subspecialty. It isn't just a general overview. It's a roadmap for the progression of an early learner all the way through to the practitioner level.
I think the word granular is key there for our residents listening. It implies that we are moving away from the see one, do one, teach one model towards something much more structured. The paper contextualizes this training within the 6 core competency rubric for the surgical implantation of DBS devices.
Right. And for the medical students tuning in, those 6 core competencies, like patient care, medical knowledge, and practice-based learning, are the standard framework for ACGME training. By applying that rubric specifically to DBS implantation, NANS is trying to standardize the surgical implantation process itself.
It's about safety and efficacy. If we have a standardized educational curriculum, we can reduce that practice variation the authors are concerned about. Whether you are implanting for a movement disorder or an emerging psychiatric indication, the technical standards for the surgical implantation of DBS systems should be rigorous and uniform.
The paper really emphasizes that because neurosurgery is the only discipline credentialed for this, we have a unique obligation to lead the way in formalizing this curriculum. It's not just about the surgery itself, but the progression of the learner. It defines what a resident should know versus what a fellow or a junior attending should be mastering.
It's a call to action for training programs. We need to move away from heterogeneous training and towards this NANS recommended model. It ensures that when a patient goes in for a DBS system, the quality of the implantation isn't dependent on which silo the surgeon was trained in.
Definitely. It's about creating a baseline of excellence across North America. For those interested in the specifics of the granular steps, I highly recommend looking at the full rubric provided in the 2026 Neuromodulation Journal.
Well said, Alara. Standardizing the way we teach DBS is the only way to keep pace with the rapid technological advancements in the field. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us on the Neurosurgery Hub podcast.
See you next time.